Welcome to episode 277 of the official Gamestitch Podcast. I'm Ryan Walton. As always, I'm joined by Dan Reamer.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are we today?
I'm well, I guess I would say.
Well. Not good. You're well?
It's been a long week. And I've been looking forward to getting on here.
Inventing?
Yeah, well, not even venting, just relaxing, talking about video games, talking about life. Because real life this week has not been fantastic.
Mine's been pretty, my real life has been pretty typical. Everybody's an idiot, mostly.
Yeah, and most of mine revolves around, professionally, not, my home life is fine. It's just, when work is going a certain way, you're so exhausted when you get home. Like mentally.
Mentally tired.
Yeah, that you just don't want to do anything. You don't want to go anywhere. I don't even want to play any games. I've been aggravated.
Well, see, what I found is on those days where it's just been that exhausting, mentally exhausting day, video games for me act as a sort of mental floss. And they help clear all the dirt out from between my problems and help me move on. So I actually, when I have days like that, I prefer to go play video games, particularly ones where you can shoot things in the face, because it does help clear my head and make me feel better.
I use video games a lot of times to process stress and things like that, but this is so different for me because it's more of an irritate. Like, I don't want to do anything. I'm just super irritated at everything and everyone.
Except for find a new profession.
Right. So, I do use it for stress in that same kind of way where it's great to clear my head when I'm like, if I've had a bad day or something like that. It's not even like the day itself was bad. It's like the level of stupidity is so high. And it's not one person. It's everyone.
It's contagious. I'll grant you that.
You know how it is too. Once you're having a little bit of it, you get
more. All of a sudden, everything is stupid.
Yeah, you're accelerated it in your mind a little bit.
Yeah, even if
I'm taking it a little personal.
Even the legitimate questions, you're like, well, that's just a dumb question. Right.
Yeah, I'm definitely taking it a little bit personal, and that is on me. But it just crossed a level this week that, and already having a day off yesterday, and then getting ready to do the podcast today, I already feel better.
Good. Because
it's been a week.
I hate to see you in a bad place.
Yeah, it doesn't happen often. I don't really let things bother me. It's just like a volcano, though.
Well, see, what I do is I think you let things fester.
Yeah, but I process it.
I think you let them build and build and build, and then you explode, and then
I'm like a volcano.
Then the whole process starts over. See, every time I get irritated, I go off and then it's done. Which is about, 37,000 times a day.
Well, see, it takes so much, though, to ever get me to this point. Like, even though I let things sit, like, I'm usually over them before anything else piles on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been like combo all week long.
They just came in droves.
Yeah, somebody's got a 355X combo going on me. And it's just getting to me. But I did jump in last night, play a little Sea of Thieves.
Ooh.
I hit the open seas, which for some reason Howard's been wanting to play, and I'm like, I'm not feeling it. Like, I don't want to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Just let me watch the Predators lose, because that's happening in hockey right now, and just let me just be pissed off. But last night I was like, you know what? Fine, let's hit the open seas. I had a great time.
Thanks for the text, by the way.
I had a great time. Well, it's amazing that I even played. That's all I'll say about that. It's great that I even played. And Thomas actually asked me if I was playing, so I need to apologize to you and him because I didn't text anybody because I was so irritated.
Mm-mm.
I actually didn't even text Howard. I got on Xbox and he sent me a text, and I just got on there to update it, and he sent me a text and said, "Hey, you're on Xbox."
Jesus.
To which I didn't respond. And he said, "What are we doing?" And I said, "I'm updating my games." And he said, "Okay." And then he was on Xbox. So we played a little bit of Sea of Thieves. So it was kind of impromptu. But that game, It's relaxing when you're sailing.
Yeah, it is.
And so there's if you've never played, there's kind of two different looks for the ocean. It's like this place is going to kill you, and this is where you want to live.
Yes.
So typically it spawns us in the nasty water. It spawned us in the bright blue Caribbean looking water. The waves were kind of light, and I was like, this is okay. They put up a new gun. If you haven't played in a while, the May update actually added a sniper rifle you can get for 1 gold.
Yeah, I got to go get that.
So that's actually why I was going to update my game so that I could grab it before it expired, but I was not planning on playing. But I'm glad that I did. Just a couple hours. We saw 2 ships.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him when we started, like, I'm not doing combat with anybody. I'm not in the mood. Because I don't get upset a lot, but I would snap a controller last night when I started playing. That's how I felt. If I need to spike this, I will. And as soon as we get in and we get a couple treasure chests, here comes the sloop coming right at us. And I'm like, I can't. I'm not in the mood for it. So I told him, we stay the course. I don't give a shit if they shoot at us. We're going to where we're going. So they're doing all this stuff, and they're dropping anchor and trying to get the boat right, and it's pissing me off because I know they're going to shoot at us. They take one shot at us, which is terribly off.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just decide to stop at the island they're at, which tells me they were probably just being defensive. They were probably just trying to go to that island.
Right.
So we do all the stuff we have to do. We go sell all that. That's fine. Then I found one of those books that gives you the message in a bottle quest.
Mm-hmm.
It shows us an island with 6 treasure chests on it that we have to go dig up.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we're getting all the treasure chests, and here comes the sloop sailing right at us. I'm like, why can't I just play this game? All I want to do is play it. And this thing is coming at us hot. I'm like, great. It goes right by us.
Nice.
No cannon fire, no nothing.
Nice.
Didn't even get out their looking glass. Like, they just sailed right past us and went on doing their own thing. I was like, so the Sea of Thieves gods knew that the Kraken Lord knew that I needed a peaceful night.
They were shining down upon you last night.
Yeah, they were. So we gathered all of those. We took them back. We sold them, and we quit before the game could get screwed over.
Well, I heard they're going to be making some changes to make it a little bit more less so that you have to fight all the time.
So it has become this thing that when you see another ship, you're like, load the cannons, because you don't know what else to do because they're going to attack you.
Right.
But if last night was any indication, people are getting tired of that.
Yeah, I hope so. That's
best case. You use a bunch of cannonballs, you have to repair your ship a bunch, and you sink some guys and get nothing from it.
Right.
Worst case, you get sunk, and you have to start all the way back somewhere else to go where you were trying to already go.
Right.
So I feel like people think the risk-reward isn't worth it, and I hope that that's true.
Yeah.
It's pissing me off.
Yeah, I mean, I've said it before, too. That's my biggest problem with the game is that I can't just be left alone.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes I just want to be left alone to go do my thing and play the game.
And I want to leg sweep all the people who are like, it's a pirate game. I'm aware.
I know what it is.
Right. It doesn't have to be a pain in my ass just because it's a pirate game.
But you know what? Pirates don't steal from other pirates very often. They usually plunder villages. So
rarely do you see pirates stealing from each other, and definitely not every single time you see one.
So if you're going to use that argument, maybe you should understand your fucking history first, jackass. Instead of using false facts that you just made up to try to...
Fake news.
To try to match your debate.
That's fake pirate news.
Pay attention. If you're going to argue, have your facts right. I hate people who do that. I hate people.
Hashtag pirate facts.
Hate people. Any facts. I don't care what facts. I hate people who try to have a debate and don't even know their facts.
But it was a positive night, and I didn't play much this week. What I did one of the nights was build my next Labo kit.
Oh, what'd you build this time?
I built a house this time.
Mm-hmm.
So I've now completed the fishing pole, the RC car, the Joy-Con holder, and the house. I still have the RC bike. Not the RC bike, the motocross bike thing, the handlebars.
The handlebars.
And the piano, which will be the grand finale.
You didn't get the robot? You just got the variety pack?
Right, just the variety pack. And I really enjoyed building the house, it was the first time in any of the builds I've done where you're using the reflective stickers, which are what the Joy-Con reads with the infrared camera. But I will stick with my previous statements in that the beauty of Labo is the build, not the game. You build a Lego kit and you step back and you look at it, you're like, that's cool. Most adults don't then get out minifigures and play.
True.
The Labo for me is that way. I built a house. I'm like, this is super cool. I slid my thing in there. The little guy is inside a house. Oh, you stick this button in and all of a sudden you can turn a switch and you can flood his house with water and you can turn it off. You put another one in there. It's a little minecart game. You know, you earn these little treats you can feed him. Well, you put this in there and it makes a little easy bake oven. You can put those treats in there and then bake them. It's all little interaction things, which are neat because they work super well. But for me, I guess that's the gravy on the potatoes, and the potatoes is the build. The builds are fun. Every time I put something together, or I'm getting ready to, I think I know how it goes together, and I'm totally wrong. And then when you get done, the way that they do things, you're like, this might last forever. Which is crazy because it's cardboard. Like, I feel like I could drop this and punt it across the room and then go pick it up and it would be fine.
It might be. You should try it. You should do a experiment. Mythbusters.
No. I will with someone else's kit.
Oh, not your own.
Hit us up on Twitter at @game_stitch if you have a Labo you want me to punt. Or a Labo. I've heard some people refer to it as.
There's a Labo.
Yeah, they're trying to make it fancy, I think. But yeah, I really, really like it. It also has like a peacefulness when you're folding the cardboard. I guess it's like papercraft, the way people like to do that.
Right, like origami.
Yeah, it does work that way with me. Like this time, I turned TV off and everything. It was just quiet.
No music, no nothing?
Nope, and I just folded cardboard. And for like the hour and a half that it took, I didn't think about work or nonsense or anything. I just folded cardboard.
Very zen? You had a very zen experience with it?
Yeah, I kind of did. And it was a perfect week for it. I like the way I'm building them. I'm not rushing through.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to continue to try to do one a week. So I'm going to build the handlebars next week. I may even build them today. I don't know. And then I'm going to do the grand finale, I guess, the week after that, the piano, which I can't wait for the piano. I'm super pumped about the piano.
I know it's been your number one Labo since it's been announced.
That piano is cool.
You don't know that. You haven't put it together yet.
Oh, dude, people on YouTube are making full songs in Labo.
Well, you can't.
No, but I can smack the keys and they'll make sound.
Bing, bing, bing.
Yeah, exactly. I may write a new intro for this very show. I don't know. Maybe the new intro will be totally Labo produced.
Hey, that's fitting.
Yeah, it's not bad. I don't know. I think
I give you carte blanche to do what you want with that.
Thank you for that. I just think that Labo is really neat, and if you're creative or if you have kids, their minds will explode. Because you're like, how does this even happen? How is this even working? But as an adult, if you like creating things and you find peace in, you know, origami or papercraft or sewing or knitting or Zen gardens, any of that stuff, fidget spinners, anything that just draws your attention without having a real purpose.
Pet rocks.
This is very much up that alley. And the price tag, I mean, it's $70, but at the end of this, I'm probably going to have somewhere close to...
That's what, $12 a toy?
No? Yeah, I'm going to have 10 plus hours in building.
And 6 toys or something like that?
RC car, fishing pole, house, bike, and piano 5. And some of those have, like, once you complete them, it unlocks additional builds that do other things.
Okay.
So but those are much quicker. But there are different things to do. But I just say the game part doesn't matter, but the build for me is very zen and peaceful, and I've spent a lot more on a lot less. That's where I land on. They should put that on the box. You've spent a lot more on a lot less. Labo. And I've enjoyed my time. Here's the real dilemma. No clue what to do with them once I build them.
Right. Here they are.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe a shelf, I guess, at some point. I'll just put them all on like a shelf of a bookcase.
Yeah. Get little
they're going to do more, and I'm going to buy those too.
Well, I actually read somewhere this week that I thought was kind of a cool story that UPS has created a case out of cardboard for Labo cardboard.
Really?
And they are UPS is considering mass producing it and selling it.
UPS, what can Brown do for you?
Yeah. Yeah. So that might be something you want to look into.
I might love that tie-in more than any that I could have thought of on my own.
Well, I thought it's I guess somebody created it like a UPS store or something. And my thought was, well, this is peanut butter and jelly right here. This is this is chocolate and peanut butter. This is perfect. UPS, the home of cardboard boxes.
They've built an entire empire on it.
Is coming up with a case for cardboard. That's genius.
It's kind of like if Amazon decided to do it.
Yeah.
Like, you've got tons of cardboard, right? What if we just made a case out of the thing that you're about to store?
So, you might want to Google that and look into that, because...
even then, though, you got cases everywhere of cardboard.
But no, you can just... No, because it's all one. If they mass produce it, it's just going to be one case that holds all the stuff that's put together. So you could probably literally hang that on the wall and put the stuff in it. It's like a showcase.
That would be interesting. Because I have had that thought. I have a house, an RC car, and a fishing pole in another box just sitting there because I'm like, I don't know what to do with these.
Right.
I mean, they can't get damp. You can't stick them in a garage somewhere or anything like that.
No, you can't put them anywhere. There's going to be humidity. It's got to be temperature controlled.
Right. So they're just in a box in my house, which is fine. There's lots of things in boxes in my house at all times because I like to buy old junk. And it's just, I can't stack anything on top of them really, except for maybe other Labo.
Right. Because they're not made to hold support, like major amounts
of weight. They're not made for weight, right. So I don't know, but.
Maybe you could use your Labo as kits, as showcases for your Amiibo.
I could set them all up like a little scene.
Yeah.
The only thing is there'd be, like, the house makes sense, but then there's just a giant fishing pole.
Be like a diorama.
And the fishing pole is the size of the house.
That's fine. Remember in Transformers when Megatron turned into a gun that somehow a robot could hold in his hand?
I do remember that.
It's fine.
I'll tell you what else interests me. What if I took the house outside and set it up and took photo shoots?
You could do that, or you could do like a little fairy home, like they do.
Oh yeah, I could. Yeah, but with Amiibo.
Yeah.
I don't know if that doesn't go viral. To be totally honest with you, if I do like an Amiibo fairy scene, I don't know that doesn't.
Yeah, I want a little bit of recognition for that because I helped.
Pixar didn't happen.
I know I don't have the products, but I want a little bit of help.
But you got to go above. Like, you got to start making cardboard bridges and everything. You have to go off script.
UPS, man.
What can Brown do for you? Fairy gardens is the answer.
Amiibo fairy gardens.
You think somebody at UPS was like, damn it, why didn't we think of this?
They will be when they hear this.
Why didn't we make cardboard toys?
And now we've said it, so it's patented.
As much as we, I don't, maybe we's not the right word. As much as the internet attacked cardboard at first, I don't know that cardboard toys is the worst idea in the world.
I think your price point is what you got to be careful about on them, though.
But like
Nintendo can get away with it because they're Nintendo. If you're just, Cardboard Brothers or whoever comes out with their...
Yeah, Cardboard Bros. That's what you would call it. For sure. Super Cardboard Bros.
Comes out with their modular cardboard kits. I don't know that they get away with charging Nintendo money.
I don't think that they have to. I think a lot of what you're paying for is the game itself. But like if you went to Walmart and they had a cardboard airplane kit that you put together with real spinning propellers.
Like the balsa wood planes?
Yeah, but with cardboard, it would be awesome and fun to put together. It would be neat when you finished, and it's totally recyclable. Is that a word? Recyclable?
Recyclable, yes.
It could be recycled. And it doesn't matter if your kid smashes it; it's cardboard. Make it cost $10 instead of all this plastic and chemicals and dyes and. Yeah, I've gone full hippie on this cardboard thing.
Ryan's a tree hugger now.
Yeah. I'm fine. I'm embracing it because I think they're stronger than I ever imagined.
He's a vegan.
Let's get one thing straight. I'll never be a vegan. I'm not super into the planet either. I just think that these aren't a bad idea. They're not the worst thing I've ever seen. And I look at all the plastic junk at the store, and I'm like, it's just all cookie cutter stuff. Like I like kids to make things. I made stuff when I was little.
Yeah, but I didn't buy kits to make stuff. I literally, whatever I could find, I made kits stuff.
There weren't kits to make stuff when we were younger. But kids don't have to go make anything now. You go buy it.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I spent hours finding the perfect stick so I could have the perfect Donatello bow staff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, now you just go to Walmart and buy a foam one.
If you had to find the perfect stick that was like a gun, and it had to have the 2 branches on it that,
had the little knot in the back like your hammer.
Yep.
Now you just get on Amazon and order a bright orange foam gun, right?
Yeah.
Kids need to use their mind more and their imagination more.
They need to nurture the creative side of themselves.
And not blaming the kids, blaming the parents.
It's always the parents' fault.
And the industry. Like, it's hard to find cheap maker kits. They're very expensive.
Right.
Even for the crappy ones, they're very, very expensive. Like, you can go to Hobby Lobby and it's like, oh, potato clock, $34. You're like, oh, hell no. Well, absolutely not. Or a little hydrogen bug crawler, $40. You're like, nope.
Create your own dream catcher for $60.
Yeah, that's
no. Dreams can go away at that price.
Right, I can't afford to catch them. To be honest with you,
I don't know what I do with them once I do.
Right, where would I put them? I've already got a space issue. So
what else did you play this week?
A tiny baby amount of God of War. I mean, we're probably talking 30 minutes. More Rocket League, like always. I think that's really it. And all combined, I probably have like 5 hours of gaming this week. I didn't do a lot.
I have many more hours of gaming. However, we were all on at different nights. We were never on the same night. All I played this week was God of War. That was it. I do want to tell you that I finished it. I've completed the story. The story was great. As I've gotten further and further into the game, I've realized I love this game. This is a great game. I had so much fun with it. It is not perfect. There are some issues with it that I think everybody, maybe it's just me, or maybe some of the other critics and stuff and other people are just ignoring him because it's God of War. It has very few fights and I'm not going to spoil any of the story for you, just so you know, Ryan. But it's been 2 weeks now, so
I'm working my way through it.
Get your shit together. In the gods of war of old, 1, 2, and 3, there were numerous crazy giant boss battle types that you have not experienced, that you had never experienced before, where they took up the whole screen, and the boss was actually the environment you were running in. Very, very few of those types of boss battles in this game. And it also there is some variety in your enemies, but there's one enemy in particular that seemed to be incredibly overused as both a boss and a mini boss, and it's in some story, even down to some of the story elements, where one of those huge changes that I talked about before in the past Gods of War with boss battles would have, I went in thinking, like, there was I can think of one particular boss battle that you probably haven't got to yet, so I'm not going to spoil it. But I was like, it's laid out what you need to do, and I'm like, oh wow, this is going to be epic. This is going to be like one of those from old, one of those boss battles that we used to do. And no, it just turns out it's one of those same old overused enemies that had a few differences thrown in, but essentially the way to defeat it was just the same. The patterns were all the same. So some minor issues with that. I thought
now,
affected.
not to cut you off. Do you think that's because you're on baby mode?
No.
Okay.
I think it would have just boiled down to you have less health, they have more health. I don't think it would have been a completely different boss.
I won't know. I'm also on baby mode, so I won't be able to.
And you'll understand as you get along further what I'm talking about, I think. Because it takes a while for that fatigue to set in.
Mm-hmm.
But I started to notice that particularly mini-boss and boss battles were very, very overused and underwhelming. To the point where I kind of got to where I was like, this again? Really? Can't I just avoid this?
Mm-hmm.
Can I just run away? But no, you have to do it to get through the story. So, okay, I'll do this again, fine. And that's not to detract from the game. That's not saying that the game is horrible in any way. The game is magnificent. The story is incredible. Phenomenal story. Sets up sequels just perfectly and in an epic manner. It got some really nice twists and turns that I did not see coming, and were pleasant twists. They weren't like out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, well, actually, in the name of the story, this makes sense. But there was some of that repetition again with the mini bosses, and just none of that. The story itself feels epic. The gameplay, not so much. And I think with the other God of Wars, it was kind of the other way around.
And do you think this is a product of making a game that's 25, 35 hours long?
It's possible.
If they needed that much time to tell the story, they had to fill it up with gameplay.
And it feels like, and that's kind of what it feels like. It feels like those repetitive bosses that I'm talking about, those repetitive enemies, are a way to kill 7 minutes of the story.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of what it feels like. Whether that's the case or not, I don't know. But that's a few of those. The story could have done with being 5 hours shorter, maybe 3 hours shorter, and a few less of these major boss battles. I'm still doing end game stuff. I'm still doing some of the side stuff that I wasn't strong enough to do as I played through the game. But all in all, I mean, there's a reason. We'll talk about it a little bit later, but there's definitely a reason that this is the fastest selling PlayStation exclusive of all time. And that is because when everything considered, it is a phenomenal game. Few minor flaws that maybe were overlooked because everything else is so great, but that doesn't diminish the fact that those flaws are present.
You're not finished. I mean, you're finished with the story, but you're not done with that world yet.
I am not done with that world yet. No. I've even started to play some of the other stuff, the trials of Muspelheim, and the maze of the Miss Maze of Alfheim or Niflheim, whichever it is.
I look forward to playing more of it. I still feel the same way about it. I think it's great. I think it's fun. I don't Jones to play it, so it's going to be an hour here, 2 hours here, 3 hours here for me. Which makes the journey kind of long, but I think that's the best way for me to play it.
If you're not jonesing for it, why not?
I'll tell you another problem I'm having right now. Games Pass is really good.
Games Pass is. Have you played anything else on it? You were playing something the other night.
So Hunter Call of the Wild. I don't know if I talked about. I think I talked about it last week. But I downloaded. Probably in total, I've probably downloaded 15 games off of Games Pass that I have just queued up ready to go. And I downloaded even more last night. I got iDarb, which is one I want us all to play together and stream out. That the Games with Gold, that new baseball game, looks just stupid enough that it would be fun.
A super RBI baseball or something?
Super baseball, super fun baseball 2 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It looks just, I was like, I don't know about this. And then like 20 seconds into the trailer, the guy hits it and it hits the pitcher in the face and he goes flying. And I'm like, oh yeah. Yeah, I can do this. This game doesn't take itself very serious. And that's what I want out of a baseball game because I hate baseball. And it just seemed just the right kind of fun for me on that. I also got, what's the other thing I downloaded last night? I can't remember what the other one is. And then you know that game, I think it's called like Late Shift or something. That one, it's all like a movie that you play through.
Yes.
That's on there. I've wanted to play it on PS4 forever. There's just a lot of stuff that I have queued up. That other one where you build things and it's like a BattleBots type deal.
Is it like MechArena or?
Yeah, that's the idea. It's not called that, but yeah, pretty much. Robo Arena or something like Robo. I don't know.
How awesome would a game be where you customize your own mech, your own robot, and then have a dance off?
Yeah.
And you call it Hey MechArena.
That's not bad. Here's the thing, though. It needs Kinect support because it needs to take real dance moves.
Yes, I agree.
I don't want you to program dance moves or button combinations. I want real dance moves. So it's got to use the PlayStation camera or Kinect, which I understand is dead. It's got to use those things.
Once tracking gets better, it might be good in VR. It would be like you're sitting inside your robot.
PSVR, Hey MechArena.
Yeah.
That's not bad. You pick your venue, and then you pick your mech.
And then you have a dance battle. Online only.
Oh, yeah. Online required. Broadband connection required. PSVR required. This game is just getting a smaller and smaller audience the more we talk. And I'll just let you know right now, move controllers required. It's got to track your hands.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, it's not the worst idea we've ever had.
Hey MechArena.
I think you call it MechArena.
Or MechArena, that's what I meant.
Yeah, Hey MechArena.
That's what not what I said? Oh, I was pronouncing it MechArena, wasn't I?
Yeah, you were trying.
No.
Is it too much of a reach for the Macarena?
It's MechArena.
Hey MechArena is
Hey MechArena.
I'll be honest, Hey MechArena is not the worst name in the world for just a regular mech game. It's a pretty good name. Especially if you start when you're like, Hey MechArena. Do you think you'd be sued? I don't know. What if you go, oh, MechArena? No, you want the hey.
Well, without the hey, you can get away. No, completely different song. Look, it's MechArena. It's oh, MechArena.
Or you just say everything borrows from something else. Everything's been done before. Let me make my mech game.
Imitation is the greatest form of flattery.
Pay up, sucker. That's what they'll say back to you. Hey MechArena, coming to a PSN store near you. Remember, it requires everything that you don't have to play it. That's what we'll put on the PS blog. If you don't have $600 worth of riffs, this isn't for you. But if you do, oh boy.
It's
a half-ass dance game, right?
For a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a dance battle with robots. Come on, man.
Yeah. I don't even think you have to build them. I think you could just customize your colors and go dancing.
That's fine.
Pick your mech, pick your colors, and go dancing. Because robot dancing's... universally, robots dancing is funny.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Right? Universally, that's a funny thing. Because robots have no soul, so when they dance, you're like, I kind of like this. It's very mechanical and rigid.
Have you ever seen the robot dogs that they create, like out of MIT or whatever?
Yeah, they're crazy.
They're just weird.
They're like, some of them are super fast too. They'll run like 40 miles an hour.
I know.
On those little blade legs. Yeah, those things creep me out.
They are creepy. They are super creepy.
I like the people robots, like the Honda, the Asimo or whatever his name is.
Oh.
The way he climbs stairs and stuff, you're like, that's not how humans climb stairs. How creeped out would you be if you woke up in the middle of the night and he was coming up the steps like that? You're like, hey, what are you doing, Larry? Larry, go back in charge. Stop coming up the steps.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Hey, MechArena. T for teen. We got some dirty dance moves in there.
Ooh, yes. Yeah.
NC-17 on this one.
No.
Just kidding. It's E for everyone. 10 plus.
No, I can go for T for teen. Do some get some lambada.
So here's the thing: licensed music. That's how we get around the MechArena thing. We just license it because you dance to the music, to licensed music.
But you know what you could do is then you could license the music, but then your robots dance to MIDI, licensed MIDI music.
I think you just let them dance to the real song.
Really?
Just dance without the moves.
I don't know. Can you imagine Hey Ya and MIDI?
Yeah, I don't know how it would. I think you have to entertain.
You don't think MIDI would do that?
Also, you might have to actually... You may have to put dance moves in that they're trying to match, too. But here's the key. Freestyle sections.
So
you're
there's
doing
a little
your thing, but then it
bar
goes freestyle.
that rolls across that you got to follow, like you would in Rock Band or whatever, or Dance Dance Revolution.
Just Dance, all those, yeah. You're matching
But then all
moves.
of a sudden, some robot yells out, freestyle.
It flashes on the screen, and then everybody's breakdancing and everything else, and you're like, oh, hell no. Also, don't breakdance wearing PSVR, you'll choke yourself out.
You might.
You can't turn all the way around, you'll die.
You might be able to get away with the dolphin, or maybe a
worm.
little pop and lock.
You could do a worm.
That's the dolphin.
Not down south, it's not. It's a worm.
Well, yeah, breakdancing originated up north in the mean streets in New York, friend. You ever see that Vin Diesel video?
No, but nothing's meaner than a good break dance, so I'm on your side on this. Speaking of, you ever seen Knockaround Guys? That's a good Vin Diesel movie.
Yes, I have.
From way back when.
Way back when.
And if you ever want to be uncomfortable, just Google Vin Diesel with hair. That's uncomfortable.
He did do a video for breakdancing, too, though, where he breakdances in it. That's how he got his start on the streets as a breakdancer.
Yeah. I can't breakdance.
Oh, I can't either.
I'm also not built like Vin Diesel while we're throwing things out there. Oh, if this is your first time joining us, welcome. Each week we get together, we talk about all the nerdy news we love, we wrap it up in all this bullshit that you've heard for the last 30 minutes. You're welcome. If you love it so much you can't stand it, head over to patreon.com/Gamestitch and you can support the show over there. If not, that's cool too. Just tell people about it. Say, hey, there's a show where they sometimes talk about breakdancing and MechArena and sometimes talk about video games.
MechArena.
Hey, MechArena. Also, probably...
To be fair, that's breakdancing robots in a video game.
Probably also the name of this show. Probably Hey, MechArena. Because you can't say it without thinking, hey, MechArena.
It's got to be capital MECH, capital ARENA.
Yeah, just send that to me. I'll do it like that.
Okay.
But when you read it, there's no way not to say, hey, MechArena.
No, there's not. No.
Even if you're like, hey, MechArena, you still did it a little bit. Put your hands on your hips. You got to swivel the hips. You got to clap, and then you got to turn, and you got to do it again.
Shoulder, hip.
Yeah. What a weird thing to have taken the world by storm.
The world by storm, exactly. That was way back when, too, like 94?
So long ago.
95, 6?
Yeah, but things come back. It's time.
It is time.
It's time. Patreon.com/Gamestitch. Lots of cool rewards, lots of cool tiers over there. We'll be revamping that soon as we roll out some new things. But yeah, check us out over there. Tell your friends, family, grandmothers about us. We appreciate it.
We do.
I think we're ready to jump into the headlines of the week.
Are you sure?
The news. I just had a thought. I was like, I want to say this, but I forgot what it was.
Wow.
I was trying to stall and buy myself a little time, but it's not coming back to me.
Wow.
I can't remember what reminded me of it.
Was it MechArena? Was it Patreon? Was it new stuff coming?
The MechArena is the reason I can't remember what it was, because it's so distractingly good that I'm having a tough time remembering anything except for that damn song.
That video. I can see the video with two old guys.
Oh, they were so old.
These guys are like 60, 65 years old.
Too old
man.
to be doing that.
Uh-huh. And then they had all these like 20-year-old hot girls around them doing it.
Yeah. It was everywhere. I remember going to Holiday World, water park in Santa Claus, Indiana, if you're not from this area. and just droves of people doing the MechArena with no music.
Yeah.
Because it was hot then.
It was the thing to do.
And I'll be honest, it's not a very sexy dance.
It's just a line dance. I mean, it's...
Yeah. People like knowing that they know something else. It's the reason the electric slide is still around.
Yeah, the electric slide. There's, what else? There's the Copperhead Road one.
People like knowing, hey, I know that too. Let's all do it together and be social.
Right. Look, we're a group.
Yeah. You're like I am. We both MechArena. We MechArena together. Now let's go play with Furbies.
Right.
Also of a time and place. If you don't know what a Furby is, Google that.
Which reminds me, while we're doing the MechArena, I have to stop and check my Tamagotchi.
Mine pooped. Let me clean it up. Now it's dead. Shit, let me reset.
All right, let's MechArena again.
Yeah. I love the Tamagotchi, and I think I still love it. I also love the Digimon that I had. Because you could hook them up with someone else's Digimon and fight them.
Yes, you could.
But Tamagotchis were good. They would die and you would be sad.
I never, they were...
You were too old.
Yeah, I didn't have a Tamagotchi.
It was just right for me.
Yeah. What were you, 12, 13?
Yeah, it hit me right in the feels. I was like in middle school, and everybody had theirs, and they would beep in your backpack, and you would get in trouble. And you're like, he pooped. I got to get to it. Poops all over the screen. I got to get to him. Hit me right in the feels. I was also listening to a podcast the other day. I'll give it a shout out. Colin's Last Stand, which is Colin Moriarty, formerly of Kinda Funny. Mm-hmm. He's got a show called Knockback, Colin's Last Stand Knockback, where him and his brother talk about the things they loved growing up. They have an episode on the Ninja Turtles, which is absolutely incredible, and everyone should go listen to. It's not that they go through the history of it. It's just that they talk about how it made them feel. But at one part, he talks about those like pillow pal things, which were those big pillows that were shaped like them. They had the little styrofoam beads inside.
Yep.
And that brought me back. I had one of those, a turtle one, a Donnie, obviously, because that's the superior turtle. And for some reason, even though I didn't watch wrestling, I had a Macho Man one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You could you would body slam them and kick them across the room and take them outside and sling them, and then you would sleep with them at night. Because you loved them. I don't know if they still make those things, but if they don't, they should.
That was, I was too old for that, too.
It was what?
I was too old for that stuff, too.
Oh, not me. And that's the thing I kept thinking about the most. Like, I love that. But it's a neat perspective, that show, because they're about 10 years apart, I think. Mm-hmm. So they definitely got different things out of each thing that they talk about. Right. And there's a bunch of different ones. They talk about Nickelodeon and anime and Mega Man and NES. But I really suggest the Ninja Turtles episode. It's fun. Let's jump into the news. Red Dead Redemption got another trailer.
It did. And it got some cover art.
It did get some cover art. Before we move on, I just want to say I don't like the name Red Dead Redemption 2.
Well, because it's...
Because you had Red Dead Revolver, then you had Red Dead Redemption, and I get why it's called that, but I'm going to do something different. Red Dead Revengeance.
Red Dead Revengeance?
Yeah. It's a popular game name. People like Revengeance.
We gave Revengeance to everything for a while there, remember?
Yeah, we did. I'm still not against it now. It got a new trailer, and we learned a couple things from it. We already figured it was a prequel. It is confirmed it is a prequel. It takes place in 1899, 12 years before the events of Red Dead Redemption. And we got a familiar face.
Yes,
One
we did.
John Marsden.
Appears to be younger, which would make sense.
That's how time works. It is younger John Marsden, 12 years before the events of the last game, it appears. It's very brief. There's a hostage type situation. They've got him in a chokehold
with a knife to his throat.
The thing everyone on the internet's freaking out about is that his scars have stitches in them on his face. So everyone's like, "Oh, we're going to learn how he got them." I'm like, "Who gives a shit?"
Yeah.
I want a new story.
I loved the first Red Dead Redemption. I really did. I'm not sure how I feel about Red Dead Redemption 2. Right now, I'm not excited. And I think I liked John Marston's story. I liked the entire arc of that story from beginning to end. I'm I'm not getting anything of that scale or that epic from the trailers I'm seeing. To me, they're making it seem like it's just you're going to rob stuff and try to keep the West from dying out. Obviously, I understand it's probably going to be more than that because it's Rockstar and it's Red Dead, and they rarely go wrong. But right now, from what I've seen, I just don't have the level of excitement I feel like I should. The fact that it's a prequel does not excite me at all. Mm-hmm. With that being said, I understand why they can't really do a sequel because it was pretty much the end of the West was John Marston's story. So I'm going to cautiously optimistic about it. I'm sure it's going to be a great game. I have no doubt. I just need to find out a little bit more about how this story is going to work, how it's going to play, what it's going to be. I just don't have enough information right now.
It's going to be fantastic. I'm sure of it. The last one was great. They don't make bad games. Rockstar always does this thing with their trailers where they don't give you what you want to see.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
They're kind of like, trust us. And you're like, I don't want to. Just show me so I know, even though you should trust them. Because it's going to be great, and I look forward to it. And I'll tell you something that did calm me a little bit. The cover art, or what is presumably the cover art, what popped up on Amazon and even Rockstar's site itself, is super Rockstar-y.
Oh, yeah. Without a doubt.
They love that art style, that cel-shaded, almost super accurate, like the colors are all, I don't know, it just looks right. It's got the silhouette of presumably the gang. It's got Arthur Morgan pointing a gun right at you with a sunset. There's some trees, and then there's the flag at the bottom. Mm-hmm. It's just very Red Dead and Rockstar, and this game is classy.
Yeah, like I said, I have no doubt this game's going to be great, but I have nothing to base that off right now, and I'm not excited from what I have seen.
Also, Rockstar's official description of the story. The story picks up after a robbery gone wrong in Blackwater with Morgan and the gang on the run. Federal agents and bounty hunters are tracking them down. As deepening internal divisions threaten to tear the gang apart, Arthur must make a choice between his own ideals and loyalty to the gang who raised him. So, we'll find out on October 26th, PS4, Xbox One. Like in the previous Rockstar games, no PC version has been announced. Sorry, PC Master Race, you might have to wait on this.
Boo.
I don't know. It's going to be... That's not that far away.
It's definitely one I'm probably going to end up picking up.
Mm-hmm. You're crazy if you don't buy it.
Oh, yeah. I know.
Anyone out there is crazy if they don't buy Red Dead. It'll be so good.
I'm super excited. I mean, I'm not really excited for it. I'm super excited to get into it and find out what it is.
That's what Rockstar does to you. You're like, I don't even care about this, but I kind of care about it.
You know what I mean? I'm not excited for it from what I've seen so far. I know when I get into this game, I'm going to love every minute of it.
Is the FOMO, is the fear of missing out Rockstar's greatest tool?
It's definitely, they definitely wield it in their arsenal.
You can't not know what's happening in a Rockstar game.
Mm-mm. You know it's going to be large. You know it's going to be beautiful. Mm-hmm. Multiplayer could be interesting, considering GTA Online is taking off the way it has. It would be interesting.
If you tell me it's GTA but in the Wild West,
I'm in.
You're telling me like I can get like new camps, new ranches,
maybe
I can buy a train. Whew, new horses. New horses. Yes.
A cattle ranch? What?
Yeah, I can raise cattle. I can sell them for beef.
Okay.
If there's a Brandon minigame, I'm in. It'll be fun. You could pop a pre-order down. It won't be hard to get if you don't. But next story, and a strange one. FTC warns Microsoft, Nintendo, and Sony about warranty voiding restrictions.
Now, here's the thing that's messed up about this. This is not a warning that should need to be given to anybody. Because across the board on all products, there is what's known as the MagnusonMoss Act. And it has been around since 1975. And it says that you cannot put any stipulations on where warranty work or warranty repairs or warranty parts or warranty anything can be performed or purchased, because if you do that, then you have to offer them at no charge.
Right. My favorite part of this whole act is that it disallows repair restrictions on warranties for any manufacturer charging more than $5.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's my favorite part of the whole thing, because I'm like, that's such a 1975 thing. And let me expand a little further. In the U.S., when you buy something, it's like 2-year limited warranty.
Right.
Just jump on Google and look at what those warranties look like in other countries. They're like 10 years, 15 years, lifetime.
Yep.
Like, we by far are the most least consumer-friendly area when it comes to warranties on things that you spend your cold, hard cash on.
And then on top of that, companies are literally trying to disregard the law and fuck you even more.
One thing that I see brought up everywhere, though, these letters went out to a lot of different companies, some even confusing, but it was not sent to Samsung or Apple.
Yeah.
Who clearly say that everywhere. Mm-hmm. If you even look at a screwdriver and an iPhone in the same line of vision, your warranty is voided.
Right.
So it's odd that they decided to seek out these, but I assume that there's more to come with this.
Well, I'm sure what's happened is that over the course of time since 1975, as more and more people have forgotten about the Magnuson-Moss Act. More
everyone.
More and more people have tried to push the limits of it, tried to push their luck with it, just to see what happens.
And in case we weren't clear, there's a sticker on pretty much every electronic device that you own that says, if you open this or have someone other than us repair it, your warranty is void. And
that's not it. And honestly, I'll give you a little bit of history on the Magnuson-Moss Act, because this is actually my wheelhouse.
Right, the Magnuson-Moss wheelhouse.
It actually started with vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
Because what happened is Datsun, if you went to like your mechanic and got your oil change and something else happened, Datsun was not honoring that warranty because they didn't do the oil change, even if it didn't have anything to do with it. So they were trying to force their customers to only come to them for anything done on a Datsun. And that's actually part of the reason that Datsun went under and got bought out by Nissan, is because with the passage of the Magnuson-Moss Act, Datsun was no longer able to get away with that. So that's where that started. It actually starts with vehicles. It starts with warranties on vehicles. And
PlayStation 4 even ramped it up even more with a sticker that they consider a seal to prevent users from opening console. Mm-hmm. The same method that you see HTC and Asus use. By opening the seal, which is required to get inside of it, you have voided your warranty.
Mm-hmm.
Which is top shelf bullshit. But here's my thing. This has been happening for years.
Someone just thought of it.
It's like they hired someone in. It was like, hey, you ever heard of the Magnuson-Moss Act? They're like, no, remind us what that is? I mean, we know, but remind us. And all of a sudden they're firing letters out. But here's the thing, FTC. Let's get everybody. I know it takes time, but let's get everybody.
Let's get Apple. Let's get Samsung. Let's get all them. I realize.
I know loot crates are hot right now, but let's go after everyone.
Yep.
Because probably no one is worse. You know, if I take my iPhone up to iFixit or one of those janky places, no disrespect, and they change my screen and I tried to send it into you, you would tell me that it's been opened and you can't do anything with it now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's some bullshit. Let's get everybody. Let's get them all. I like this story. I think that's a good story.
It is a good story. I like consumer-friendly stories because there's not many of them.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Most things not pro-consumer. Last week we told you about the free games for PS Plus, for Xbox Games with Gold, and the stuff coming to Games Pass, everything releasing in May. I got one more list this week.
And this week's list that Ryan's going to give us is going to be the free games for Twitch Prime members in May 2018.
So in case you don't know, if you are an Amazon Prime subscriber, you have Twitch Prime. It comes with a $4.99 subscription you can use every month for any channel you want that has a subscription tier. You should use that. You should support the people that you watch on there. It doesn't cost you anything. And it also comes with other perks like in-game content or free games for PC. And, I mean, they're putting some stuff out. Pay attention to it. Go to Twitch, twitch.tv/Gamestitch if you want, and then just click on the little bell up top, the notification bell, and it'll show you all the things that you can get as a Twitch Prime subscriber. If you need help linking the accounts, it's very simple, but if you just Google link Amazon Prime to Twitch Prime, it takes like 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very easy.
But this month for May, they're adding, and also there's another list coming up later, so don't get discouraged if this is the only one.
Remember, Ryan's on a list kick.
I'm on a list kick. Gone Home, Psychonauts, High Hell, I Hope, Cluster Truck, and Titan Souls are the free games for this month. And there's also some in-game content for stuff. I think specifically I saw something for Heroes of the Storm. But yeah, get in there and check out that stuff. It is one of the benefits to being a Prime member. It's one of the reasons that Prime subscription cost is going up. So take advantage of it.
Yeah, I download all that stuff just in case.
I don't even play on PC, and I download I get all of it. And like I said, make sure that you're doing the subscription. You get it automatically. Subscribe to someone. You get those little, you get the emotes to use. They're specific to the channel and all that stuff, and it doesn't cost you anything. And it goes to those content creators. And we don't specifically have one of those, so I'm not talking about us, but I'm talking about get out there and support someone you watch that has one.
Indeed.
You alluded to it a little bit earlier, but God of War is the PS4's fastest selling exclusive game ever. In a post on PlayStation Blog, Sony announced that God of War managed to sell 3.1 million copies worldwide in 3 days. That makes it PS4's fastest selling game. Shannon Studstill, head of Sony Santa Monica, shared a personal message with fans achieving the milestone, where she said, "I would like to personally thank the millions of fans around the world who decided to embark on Kratos' latest adventure with us. We look forward to hearing more about how fans are creating new memories of their favorite God of War gameplay moments that will be remembered for a long time." She's a super cool person.
Mm-hmm. And what else is pretty neat about this is, remember, Horizon Zero Dawn did pretty well. It took Horizon Zero Dawn 2 weeks to hit this number.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's super fast. Not a whole lot of franchises have the recognition that God of War does. It also helps that it's a fantastic game, but you should watch her say those things because it feels very genuine. But you should also watch any interviews with her. She's super cool, and not like in a Cory Barlog way. Like, she's not nuts. I know he's passionate about the game, but she's very cool. And one of the
like Cory.
She's one of the coolest people at Sony, though, and I encourage people to check her out if you haven't. She's very intelligent and got it. She's on point. She's awesome.
I like Cory. I realized that at E3 he appeared to be both high and drunk, but
call that drunk high.
I like Cory Barlog.
I don't dislike him. I'm just saying he's maybe not the guy you want out front talking about your thing, and she is. Is all I'm saying. Which is why she is the head of Sony Santa Monica and he is the creative director on God of War.
Right.
Sony gets it too. But it takes all kinds, and I think that Sony has just shown an ability to let people make the games they want to make.
Mm-hmm. I think that's
so far it's been very successful.
That's the most important thing that Sony does that I don't know that you see with the other consoles. That's not to say Nintendo doesn't have a number of hits. But I think Microsoft seems to get maybe a little too involved. I think a lot of what Microsoft tries to do is reactionary.
I don't know what they're doing, to be totally honest. I can't figure out Microsoft.
I don't know. All Phil Spencer's doing, God bless him, is congratulating everybody else on their success.
Well, so State of Decay is their big release coming out this month for Games Pass, and every early impression I've read is that it's not great.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, come on, Microsoft. Sea of Thieves is a fantastic quarter of a game.
Yeah.
State of Decay apparently is the first game, but a little bit better. It's like, you haven't made anything in a really long time, right? Like, these should be good. Especially when you have to go up against Spider-Man and
God of War and
Detroit and Horizon and Infamous and Uncharted. Like, you got to do better.
I've heard a lot of news about Microsoft pulling to get franchises that were previously only exclusive to PlayStation. There's talk about them getting Nier Automata.
Okay, great. It's old.
Some other games. Exactly.
But so here's the thing with Nintendo. Nintendo makes Nintendo games. You can't get them anywhere else.
Right.
The experiences you get on PlayStation, you should be able to sort of replicate on the Xbox One.
Yep. But you have to do your own version. You can't just be a reaction to Sony's action.
How shitty was Scalebound that you couldn't at least put it out?
Right.
Because these things you are putting out are not finished games. And I love the Games Pass, and I love Phil Spencer. He is awesome. He should be running all of Microsoft. He is incredible. And I don't blame him. I don't guess I blame anybody, but it's like, what are you doing over there?
Yeah, you got to get your shit together. That's
and I understand making games is incredibly difficult, and I don't want to discount that. And Days Gone is maybe not going to be great. It's the reason Sony keeps shoving it back. It's the reason Dreams hasn't come out after 6 years, and it'll never make its money back. It's the reason Last Guardian never came out for the longest time, because they don't want to put out bad games. So I get it. I understand. It's slow getting games out when they're not where they need to be. But if Sony can start pumping out the hits like they are right now, I mean, they're on fire right now.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man looks to continue that. Spider-Man looks so awesome. It's been so long since there was a good Spider-Man game.
I think you're going to find Detroit is going to exceed some people's expectations and do well for Sony.
Detroit's grabbing a mixed bag right now. Apparently, the game itself falls short of how good the storytelling is.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's pretty typical for a Quantic Dream game.
Yeah, that's pretty consistent.
Yeah, Quantic Dreams always feels that way to me. You're like, oh, just walk over here real slow. Like,
I mean, Quantic Dream is all about you creating that story.
They want to get you in the feels.
Yeah, and developing that story. And it's never been about walking to the door and opening it.
I think there's several interviews, but I think there's a really old interview with David Cage where he talks about, like, he wants to make people cry.
Yeah.
Like, that's how he'll know that he did it, when someone cries.
Yep.
And I'll say there's some moments where I didn't cry, but there's some moments where I cringed in those games.
Like with the fingers?
Oh, I still think back to that.
I'm not spoiling it for anybody in case you haven't played Heavy Rain. Check it out. But
I'll tell you, in that particular section, there's no good choice.
Nope. You will lose.
So,
on a side note, I think I'm going to try to stream Beyond Two Souls at some point.
Cool.
I got it downloaded.
While we're on the stream train, while we're talking about streams, I purchased A Way Out last night. It's not here yet, so it's en route. I found what I thought was a good deal on that. Newegg had it for on sale. So first off, Newegg has amazing deals, but the way they do it is super stupid.
Yes.
Like, they'll put 100 games on sale, but they're not just on sale when you go to their site. You have to find a promo code, put it in the cart at normal price, and then put the promo code on to see how much it costs. Super dumb. Anyways, they had it for $20 after you put it in, and then for some odd reason they had sent me like hey, you haven't been here in a while, maybe you can get free shipping. And I didn't think they would stack, but it let me use both of them.
Nice.
So I basically got that game for like $22 after tax. And we've talked about it before, but you're basically getting 2 copies of that.
Yep.
So the way I look at it is, for $20, you and I will be able to play through it. That's $10 each. That game is definitely worth $10 to be able to play through.
Without a doubt.
And we'll try to stream out a lot, if not all of that.
Yeah. I think we should try to do all of it. I think we should, as long as it takes, but we start at the beginning.
Yeah, part 1, part 2, part 3. Yeah, we just
run it right through to the end.
Yeah, I think so. So I'm excited about that. That'll be, I don't know when we'll get to it, but that is keep that on your radar. And while we're talking about giant wins for Sony and losses for Microsoft, Quantum Break developer Remedy, you may also know them from Alan Wake, Remedy Entertainment, they're going to announce their new game at E3. It's been codenamed P7. But here's the weird thing, not exclusive to Microsoft.
Right.
It's PC, PS4, and Xbox One. And they said, or Microsoft said that Quantum Break sold better than expected. It beat all the milestones it had. But they're like, hey, we want to make it for everybody and maybe sell more.
Yep.
Which, there's such a discrepancy in the amount of units out for each console. You're selling yourself so short if you don't go to everything.
Yeah, you've got to take those things into consideration, especially if you're Microsoft and essentially in last place.
Right. So it's a first look. It appears to be hands off for press that are in attendance. And it sounds like it's in super early development because it's not scheduled for anything until 2019, I guess, as far as release. Mm-hmm. Sometime in 2019. Now, the interesting part is the two games that they made are different, but of the same cloth, I would say.
Yes.
In feel, but they said that they're extremely interested in making a co-op game. Cooperative game. So...
very interesting.
Yeah, co-op Alan Wake with Quantum Break element sounds okay. Quantum Break's still a game I want to play for Xbox.
Still a game I have to finish for Xbox.
Being published by 505 Games.
Of course, at this point, I'm going to have to start all over because I won't remember anything.
Yeah, I won't either. So that's interesting. I've talked a lot about PSVR. You've shared your thoughts in VR. I think this next story is going to show people a good entry point. But Oculus has launched the Oculus Go. And it is a standalone VR platform. No phone required. No giant expensive PC required. No PS4 required.
Nope. Just put it on and go.
Everything you need, and it is $200.
It's obviously not going to be the same experience as you're going to get on the PC or PSVR. But if it's something you're interested in, something you're curious about, this may be a good entry point for you to get started, because I think it's probably going to be somewhere in between Oculus and PSVR and, the Gear VR that you can get for your Samsung phone. I believe it's probably going to be a nice middle ground. I think it's going to be a nice introduction to VR. And I think if it's something that you're interested in or curious about, it may be something you want to consider for yourself.
I agree with that. And just for clarity purposes, Oculus is not trying to build this as like a Rift. They say that it is not going to deliver the same caliber experience as the Rift, as the Vive, or as the PSVR. Instead, it's an accessible device powered by a Snapdragon 821 processor and a 5.5-inch LCD screen with a display resolution of 2560 by 1400. I don't know why I read it that way. It is an all-in-one VR solution, but there are no internal cameras, no room scaling. So, that's something that you would have to think about. You need to be in a space that makes sense when you're playing it. And it comes with one controller powered by 2 AA batteries. So it's got a touchpad on it. It's a little different than the Oculus, the Rift controllers that we have known in the past. Here's the one thing that's a little strange about this, and it's not going to hold anyone up, but you do need a phone to purchase new games for this because it is done through the Oculus app. Mm-hmm. So for installing and purchasing software, you do have to have a cell phone. Like I said, not going to hold anyone up because who doesn't have a cell phone?
Yeah, if anyone's going to be purchasing this, odds are they own a cell phone.
Who's like, I'm into this VR thing as long as I don't have to get a cell phone. Said no one ever.
Right.
Speaking of things no one needs but everyone kind of wants, Atari.
I don't know about everybody.
Yeah, it's fair. Especially when I started with the word Atari. Or the name Atari. Atari.
I'm on board, but
Atari has unveiled their VCS, which we've talked about, and now you're going to be able to pre-order it on May 30th through Indiegogo.
Boom.
The page is already live. You'll definitely want to bookmark it if you're planning on snatching one of these up, because unfortunately, people love nostalgia and they will sell out, I'm sure. They do have a collector's edition, which does have the old school wood paneling on the front. They also have the Atari VCS Onyx, which will be available for pre-order. And it's some sleek and black, which I think is the one you see in most of the images.
Mm-hmm.
I still think the Atari VCS is just a Ouya again, which is not the worst thing in the world. It does come with the Atari joystick that people know and love, which I think is smart, because I'm sure it will have the whole back catalog of Atari games, which you can get everywhere. But it'll be interesting to see what comes of this. It's not as powerful as a PS4 or an Xbox One. It seems to be on par or maybe a little bit better than the Switch. So if that kind of tells you what to expect out of it, could it run Fortnite? Maybe. Isn't that how you gauge everything?
Yeah, I guess. That or Minecraft, right?
Yeah, and I hope and pray that right now Epic is working on a Switch version of Fortnite, because there may be nowhere better to play that thing than on the Switch. On the go, if it can run on mobile, it can run on Switch.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
You can play Fortnite while you're taking a shit on a bigger screen. It just seems like it's time.
Are you even playing Fortnite anymore, though?
Hell no. Absolutely not. Now, I'll jump in and get the stuff when they offer free stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The thing about Battle Royale, and so I'm weird here. I've been playing a lot of, I don't know if I talked about this, I've been playing a lot of PUBG Mobile.
Yeah, you talked about it.
Did I talk about it on here, or did we just talk about it?
Oh.
I don't know.
I think you just talked about it.
I've been playing a lot of PUBG, and I've been winning a lot of PUBG.
Yeah.
On the phone, let's be clear. A lot of bots on there, a lot of people DCing because they're at work and they got to stop playing because their boss walks in. I know the feeling. And there's something about the combat. People want to play it like they want to run and jump like in a normal shooter.
Yeah.
Just stand still and kill them. Like, I don't have any problems killing anybody on there. In most cases, and I'm going to log in here and share some stats with you because I'm proud of what I've done in my short time. But the reason I'm bringing this up is I almost prefer the way PUBG feels, because there's like, you can play a whole match and never see anyone. And when you do see someone, it's like epic.
Right.
Whereas in Fortnite, there's people everywhere, and it's fun and it's cartoony. And now I want to preface this by saying I probably would hate PUBG on the PC or Xbox One. It's fun because it's hard to control on the phone. Like, no one is good at it.
Well, from what I have understood, it's pretty hard to control on the systems, too.
Yeah, I think on Xbox. But no one is good at it. Like, even the people who are good at it are just pretty much your level. I just unlocked a school jacket, too, for what it's worth. So, let me get over to my stats. Figure out how to... Okay. I'm level 15, apparently. Statistics. So on squads, I've played 10 rounds. I've got 3 wins. I've got 9 top 10s. I'm in every match. I have killed 30 people in those 10 matches with a K to D ratio of 4.29 and a critical rate of 20%. My average survival time is 22.5 minutes, and usually wins are somewhere in the 28 to 30 minute range. So I'm in it most of the time. There's something kind of rewarding about that game on the phone. Now, I will say that I applied for the Fortnite Mobile and never got it. I'm the only person in the whole world that didn't get accepted for whatever reason.
For what? For
Fortnite Mobile.
Oh. Because
you can't just get it. You had to do the whole thing.
You didn't get it?
No. So I've never played it on the phone. It may be the same experience, but PUBG is really good on the phone in a different way, and I really enjoy it. I almost bought it on the Xbox because it's also on sale right now for $20 through Newegg. And I thought that might be the right price. Then I watched some videos, and I'm like, this thing doesn't run well. And I'm on an OG Xbox One, too.
Right.
I'm not on an S. I'm not on an X. So, I don't know.
I'm not either. There. Don't worry.
Got off topic, but PUBG on the phone is fun, and if you're not playing it, you should. I'm not even
concerned about PUBG.
Also, you could get the Atari thing we were talking about initially.
Right. Which is where my thoughts lie.
So, and we talked about this a little bit before we recorded. Atari is tough for me because it was a little before when I was old enough to really have feelings and think about games in any sort of way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I would, even though we had an Atari when I was little, I would tell people my first system was the NES because the Nintendo was the first time I felt like something was mine, that I picked out games for, that I wanted to play something. I just played what we had on Atari, and I never knew what was happening.
Well, that's like I always say my first console was the Atari 2600, but the first console I ever actually played was the old brick table Pong thing.
Oh, yeah.
That was actually the first system I ever played.
That's pretty good still.
Good old Pong?
Yeah, I have one of those. It's pretty good still. It holds up okay.
Yeah.
So
very simple. A lot of simplicity involved in it.
Where this Atari thing tugs at your heartstrings a little bit, it doesn't for me.
Right.
And as someone who has an Atari and a lot of games for Atari, and I've played all of them, they all kind of suck for me because I don't have any nostalgia for them. You can look past the fact that, because they do all suck, in fairness, but you can look past it to what it influenced, what it became, and how amazing if you attach a memory to it.
I do, yes, you're right.
So this Atari VCS for you is probably more exciting,
probably,
than me. But I still kind of want one.
I think I even quoted to you when I got mine.
Yeah, you did. You were able to remember back to when you got it. I mean, I kind of want one of these Atari VCSs, but I kind of don't. Like, I'm somewhere in the middle of the road with it because, you know, and as someone that supported the Ouya, and you did as well, like, I like the Ouya for what it was. I thought it was fine. I don't have any... I'm not upset about buying it. You know, I wasn't playing it when it went under, so I guess that's probably part of my fault.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not mad at that. I bought the extra controller for it. You know, I'm okay with that game or with that console. So this is probably the same thing with probably the same fate. So I don't have an issue. I don't take any issue with the fact that they're making it. I think the Atari name at this point is kind of worthless. You know, they make a hat with a fucking speaker on it. You know, I don't know what that company even is anymore, so I don't know how they're going to do in games. You know, time will tell with that, but this is cool.
Don't call it a comeback.
Yeah, don't call it a comeback. Except for in this case, it would be a comeback. Just to be clear, if it works, it's 100% a comeback.
Speaking of more crap to collect that no one needs.
This one does tug at me a little bit, though. Mega Man 30th Anniversary is getting limited edition cartridges. Now, you remember they did this with Street Fighter.
Uh-huh.
But Capcom is teaming up with IM 8-Bit again to produce the same kind of collectible for Mega Man. And they're doing Mega Man 2 30th Anniversary cartridge and Mega Man X 30th Anniversary cartridge. They're each $100. Mega Man 2 for NES, Mega Man X for Super Nintendo. They're expected to ship in late September, and the pre-orders are actually open right now, and as of recording, they're both still available.
Yes.
Probably is tied to the fact that they're $100 a piece.
For a cartridge.
They're doing 8,500 of each of these. 7,500 in standard, light blue, and I think it's gray for the Super Nintendo. I didn't pull the picture. But anyways, they have these translucent, like, glow-in-the-dark blue that you can get the cartridges in. 1 in 8 are those, and there is no rhyme or reason. They're just random, but you could get the super limited edition, which is something else that tugs at my heartstrings, because you know I like limited.
You do like limited.
This is a Mega Man 2 with the Mega Man box and an instruction manual in full color. Like, this is like buying Mega Man 2 right now, brand new. I love that. You can put it in your NES and play it. Like, I absolutely adore that they're doing that. I also love that there is a chance you could get something rare. So this is tough. I'm not a huge Mega Man fan. I don't hate Mega Man. I'm not a huge fan. I didn't play it a lot growing up. I have the Mega Mans. I just downloaded the Legacy Collection for Games Pass because it's up on there. But I kind of want this. And I've looked at the pre-order twice hoping that it would be sold out.
And it hasn't been.
So that I could be like, oh, well, can't get it now. Can't spend $100 on that. I kind of really want it. So check out IM 8-Bit over there if you're interested in that. Now on to the list that I promised you.
You did say there was going to be another list. You didn't let us down.
Is right. The Video Game Hall of Fame, the Strong Museum World's Video Game Hall of Fame, has inducted 4 more games. And there's some big names that have had major influence on the video game industry. So the 2018 inductees are Space War. I think that's how it's supposed to be read. It's got an exclamation.
But there is an exclamation point at the end.
Space War, John Madden Football, Tomb Raider, and Final Fantasy VII.
It's pretty big influential games there, I would say.
Sure, so I'm confused about the fact that we say Tomb Raider and John Madden Football, but specifically Final Fantasy VII.
Well, Tomb Raider is probably the
first
original
Tomb
game.
Raider?
Yeah,
and the first John Madden Football?
Which was Tomb Raider.
Like, that's the only thing I can think, but when I read John Madden Football, I think about the series, not the first shitty John Madden game that came out.
But without John Madden Football, you don't have anything else.
So why wouldn't it be Final Fantasy 1? You see where I'm torn? Without that, you wouldn't have any. You wouldn't have 7.
But 7 was the influential one.
Right. Well, every year Madden's is the best one too.
7 was the good one.
I just think that for me, my thought is you wouldn't have any of these without the first one. You use the first one for the others, even though they're not the best one.
Maybe. I think different on that.
Now that's list 1.1. There's also list 1.2 where we tell you all the people who are already in, all the games who are already in.
Yes, and these are games that have already been inducted into the Video Game Hall of Fame from the Strong Museum in Rochester, New York. We've got Donkey Kong, Doom, Grand Theft Auto 3, Halo Combat Evolved, The Legend of Zelda, Oregon Trail, Pac-Man, Pokemon Red and Green, Pong, The Sims, Sonic the Hedgehog, Space Invaders, Street Fighter 2, Super Mario Bros., Tetris, and World of Warcraft.
What a good list.
That's good. That is all deserving of the honor.
Yeah, I think so. And now, how do you, in case anyone didn't pick up on it, this is in Dan's backyard.
Yes, this is.
It's not his museum, but it's kind of.
I live 30 minutes from here.
Right. So for you, it's even more impactful because you can go see what I assume is like the setup that shows this.
Yes, I've seen it. I've talked to you about it before.
Right. So that's pretty cool. Like they have a ceremony where they actually induct them, and it's a whole thing.
Yeah, but they don't really. I don't think they open it to the public. I think it's.
Oh, is it media only?
I think it's a media thing.
We could totally get into that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we could. I bet we could get into that. I bet we could weasel our way right into there.
I'll pay attention to it from here on out and see.
Yeah. So
it might be nice to go there and get some interviews, vids, something like that.
Some hot vids. Pixar didn't happen.
Pixar didn't happen.
I hate that so much. Like I have to take a picture for something to have had happen.
I don't, because I don't give a shit if anybody believes me or not.
Yeah, me either.
Like, I don't believe you. I'm like, I don't care what you think.
I wouldn't mind a new segment called "Who Gives a Shit," or we just covered something that we don't care about.
We could do a whole podcast called "Who Gives a Shit."
Yeah, you're right. I wouldn't mind a new show called "Who Gives a Shit" with Ryan and Dan.
A good 30-minute podcast,
right? Where we just talk about all the things that we hate. Who gives a shit?
No, not so much things we hate, things we really don't care about.
Don't care about. But then I think about how good is a show where you talk about things you don't care about. Because all you can talk about are all the reasons you don't care about it.
There's obviously no passion there.
Right.
Because you don't care.
Right. That's what's concerning is I'm like, I don't know. Now I could have a show where I complain.
Yeah, but you can't call it "Who Gives a Shit."
No, because I need you to give a shit about my complaints.
Right.
But I would love to read a story and then go, "Who gives a shit?" and then move on to the next story. That's why I think we could incorporate it here into maybe just one each week.
We could do one news story that we don't give a fuck about every week.
Yeah, we'll do the news and then we'll do our "Who gives a shit?" and then we'll move on.
No, you got to mix it in.
Oh,
that no one knows which one it is, and all of a sudden you'll be going on and we'll talk about it a little bit, and then I'll also be like, "Who gives a shit?"
Yeah, I kind of love this idea.
That was the story. That was the story.
Yeah, I kind of love that. Maybe we'll do that. Because let me tell you, when I pull the news every week, there's no less than 30 stories where I'm like, who gives a shit?
Who gives a shit?
And I read it, and I take time out of my life, and I read it, and I go, who gives a shit?
It's time I never get back.
But I still keep reading them, so maybe that's something to look out for.
But yeah, we could read the story and then not even comment on it. Just read the story, just mix it in there with every week, and then be like, and so said this, blah. Who gives a shit?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to give it any more time. Story. Right, I just want to go straight to here it is. Here's the thing we don't care about most this week. Call of Duty doesn't have a story. Who gives a shit?
Right. But it's got to be, you can't like have it its own segment. It's got to be mixed in with everything to keep everyone wondering.
Right. The creative director for Madden, who's been there since 2013, left. Who gives a shit? These are all things we didn't talk about, in case you're wondering.
You know why?
Because who gives a shit? If I have to read one more story about what a company might do at E3, I'm going to lose my mind.
Yeah. And if I see one more story about the Destiny expansion,
who gives a shit?
I'm going to hurt things.
Guess what? Microsoft's going to try to show off more games at E3, and it's going to be the biggest E3 ever.
I heard that.
Well, how would it be if they came out and said, this isn't going to be as good as last year?
Right.
It's going to be slightly smaller than what we've done in the past.
Right.
Hold on to your seats.
Last year we showed you Sea of Thieves and State of Decay 2, and we have even less this year.
Right. They promised to show off more Japanese titles. Okay.
Who gives a shit?
Right. I could do a whole segment on E3 who gives a shit. Because nobody knows what's happening right now.
There we go.
And I love when people are like, hey, you forgot to talk about this. No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
I actually did it on purpose. I didn't slip my mind.
Trust me. Now, I have forgot to talk about things before. I've even skipped stories that I put in here because I get too excited about the next story.
Yeah, you have done that.
But if I didn't do that, I didn't forget about it. Mm-hmm. I actively decided to not talk about it because I don't care and I thought you wouldn't care. I try to pick things we can have a conversation about. There's only two of us here.
Right.
So,
and if both of us didn't care about the stories, then the whole podcast would be called Who Gives a Shit and would be much less interesting.
Right. You're not going to get a lot of miles out of that. So, something that maybe you'll see in the future.
Yeah, we got to think of it. Yeah, I'd like it.
Now it's time.
It's like April Fool's Day every week.
Yeah, it is. We've talked about some other things that I think are really fun about stuff like that, so maybe we'll do some tweaking, add some stuff in. Now it's time, but gone but not forgotten. I almost forgot how to say it.
No, I didn't forget.
My oldest favorite, newest segment where we reach back in our gaming past, we dust off an old gem for you, we tell you about it in hopes that you'll either watch videos or maybe play it if you still have it. I'm not going way back, but I'm going back. The year is 2007.
It's 11 years at this point.
Mm-hmm. I'm still young and full of life. Not jaded by the world yet.
Oh, in 2007. Got it.
Right. It was downhill from there. So my gone but not forgotten is Professor Layton and the Curious Village for Nintendo DS.
I'm pretty sure you were pretty jaded in 2007. Still.
Maybe, but not with this game. And I know that you're thinking, there's been 200. Well, you know what? Strong Museum, this is the one that started it. We wouldn't have them without this. They almost created a genre with these like small, tiny riddle brain games. And I quit playing the series a long time ago, but I absolutely love these games because they make me feel so smart and stupid at the same time. Because it's like align these matchsticks so the tips don't touch anywhere, and you're like, you can't. And then you're like, oh, it's a fucking box is all I had to make, was a box. But that's what that game does to you, and I really love the Professor Layton games. And I think you could start with any of them, it doesn't matter. There is a story that also doesn't matter. But the gameplay is amazing. They're adventure puzzle games. And you should go out and find them. And quickly, I'm going to run through Professor Layton and the Curious Village, Professor Layton and the Diabolical Box, Professor Layton and the Unwound Future, or Lost Future. I don't know what the difference is. I guess they have different names in Japan. Maybe they all have two names. Professor Layton and the Last Spectre, Professor Layton and the Miracle Mask, Layton Brothers Mystery Room, Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, Professor Layton and the Azirian Legacy, Layton's Mystery Journey, which came out last year, and Layton 7, which is the to-be-announced Professor Layton project currently in development. But those games are awesome if you like puzzle-type games, if you want to feel sharp and stupid. I highly suggest them. And this is one of the few times I'll tell you, don't go watch videos on it. It doesn't do it justice to watch someone else solve the puzzles. Watch a trailer and then go pick up. You could probably pick up The Curious Village for like $3 on DS. And you should do that if you still have a DS laying around. It's a fun game.
That's been this week's Gone, but not forgotten.
Dan had absolutely nothing to add to that.
Nope.
Yep.
Never been a
pro Layton fan?
DS guy.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
Let's start there.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
But no, I do not get into brain games, brain teasers. That's not what I want out of my game.
Brain Age was a lot of fun, too.
I've heard.
I could have done that one also.
You've talked to me about Brain Age.
Mm-hmm. Could have done that one also.
You can hold on to it for next time.
I could. Spoiler alert. If you have a Gone But Not Forgotten for us, hit us up on Twitter using the hashtag GBNF. Remember, @game_stitch, hashtag GBNF, and we'll read it on this very show.
You know what? Something just occurred to me.
Mm-hmm.
What if, to go along with the Who Gives a Shit segment, what if we could also extend that to Gone But Not Forgottens? Where I gave mine and you were like, who gives a shit?
Right. Well, that happens almost every week. When the opposite person goes, you're like, all right. I never played Win Back, so I don't care. What always happens. Now, here's my idea. Well, I'm just going to put it out there. My idea that we talked about a little bit was to read you maybe three synopses from games that are out.
Yes.
But one of them be fake, and see if you could figure out the fake one.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing God of War. Like, I'm going to do like match 3 tile games on the iPhone.
I know. Bullshit.
That have like a real convoluted sounding story. And I was going to write one of my own and let you guys write in also with fake games and see if we could stump you.
You can't go phone.
Yeah, all games. Steam,
I'll lose every week.
Phone.
I'll lose every week.
That's the fun of it, to see if I can fool you.
You'll be able to fool me every week.
Real or fake? Well, no.
I don't pay attention to any of those.
I give you 3 options. You just pick the fake one out.
Oh.
It's not as if you have to say each one's real or fake. You're just going to find the fake one. All you have to do is see if I could fool you.
The problem is I won't know if any of them are real.
I mean, sometimes maybe you'll be like, oh, I've heard of that. Or that sounds like it should be real. Like that's hitting on all the cylinders of a game that sounds real.
Yeah, we could try that. We could try that segment. That might be my Who Gives a Shit, though. So.
All right. Real or fake. Featuring Dan.
Who gives a shit?
It's making the show real passive-aggressive. Gamestitch. We're kind of passive-aggressive.
That's what we do.
Now it's time for shout-outs. Remember, if you want a shout-out, all you have to do is head over to patreon.com/Gamestitch and support us at the $10 tier, and you get a shout-out each and every week. And if you don't give us one, we'll give you one. However, both of the shout-outs this week supplied us with a shout-out.
That's right. And first we've got Thomas. Thomas says to us, find a game you like and treat yourself.
I think it's short, it's sweet, it's to the point.
Mm-hmm. And I'll even take that one step further myself. Just find a game and treat yourself. Because I've done that, and sometimes it turned out to be shit, and I didn't care.
Yeah. Find a game you like and treat yourself. Also, for anyone who's like, why do you keep saying it like that? He wrote treat yourself.
Yo.
It's your shout-out. It's Thomas's shout-out. We're going to read it the way he wrote it.
That's right.
Find a game, treat yourself.
Find a game you like and treat yourself.
Yeah, play something.
Just play it.
That's a pretty good tagline, too. Gamestitch, play something.
Play something.
I don't give a damn what it is. Play something. You assholes. I'm just trying to keep the passive-aggressive thing going.
Who gives a shit?
Yeah. Play something. Or don't.
Who gives a shit?
Whatever. Get out of my face.
I will end you.
So the next shout out is from Garrett.
You take Garrett's because it made you feel good.
It did make me feel good. So like I spoke to earlier, I was having a super shitty week. And I believe it to be Friday. Maybe Thursday. The pinnacle of my shitty week.
Thursday.
I get a text from Garrett, and it says this. My shout-out is to you guys. You create an amazing show and are two of the nicest, fun, and awesome people I have met. My son will grow up listening to your show for as long as you produce it. Thank you for the gifts, love, laughs, and fun time. You guys kick ass. Hashtag Uncle Gamestitch.
That's nice.
Which that was like a hug. That was like a text hug when I got that.
It was it is a text hug, bro. It's a bro hug.
Yeah, because my week sucked ass, and I was ready to like just stop doing everything that I do. I'm like, I'm not gonna drive anymore. I'm done walking. I'm done working. I'm not playing any more games.
I'm just laying in bed.
There's no more showering. I'm just bed sores is all I see in my future. And then I got that message, and I was like, you know what? It's not so bad out here.
And I can attest to this because the first thing Ryan did upon receiving it is send it to me, forward it to me via text, and say, after the week I've been having, this is just what I needed.
Yep. So a lot of times when I get stuff like that, I don't send it to you because you don't need it right then.
Right.
But if your week was anything like mine, I'm like, he could probably deal with this too.
Mike could use a pick-me-up.
Yeah. But it definitely did make my week better. And, my shout out would be for everyone that listens every week, and it does mean a lot to us, and that was the right time for that. And we obviously don't do it for people to reach out and say you guys are amazing. That's not why we do this. But it was well timed.
Yes, it was much needed and appreciated, and you have an impeccable sense of good timing, good sir.
Yeah, because I didn't complain about my week anywhere.
Right? No, you didn't.
Nobody knew that I was having a bad week.
You said a few things to me.
Yeah. But like I wasn't on Twitter.
No.
Be like, this week sucks. Hashtag week sucks dick. I wasn't that guy. I don't know how hashtags work, but I wasn't that guy.
Well, you technically can make it whatever you want to. You don't usually make it some variation of what your first statement was. I hate everyone.
Hashtag I hate everyone.
All right.
Yeah. So that was awesome. And I think both of these are great. I love the fact that he plans on having his son listen. And we'll try to keep it a little cleaned up for him. And
so that's probably not true.
And also,
we're adding a new segment called "Who Gives a Shit." So.
Oh yeah. Whoops. But he can listen all the way up till he has to start earmuffing it, which is exciting. And then when he gets older, he can listen again.
Yes, that's true. And he can go back and have stuff to go back and listen to.
And I also love the idea that Thomas just wants people to play games.
They're both phenomenal
great.
ideas.
Also phenomenal people.
Yes.
And if you support us on Patreon, but you're not at the $10 tier, you're also a phenomenal person. And hats off to you, good people.
That's right. And before Ryan closes us out, I just do want to talk again about FC3. That is June 10th and 11th. We will be presenting a panel, possibly being part of another podcast. Ryan's still not positive he's going, still working on it, I think.
I think I'll know by next podcast.
Okay. I will definitely be there. We do not have the schedule set in stone yet, but we're we're a lot closer than we were. Mm-hmm. If you do want to find anything out about it, www.fc3.com. Excuse me, fc3rock.com. That's ROC, lowercase. Capital F, capital C, 3, lowercase ROC.com.
I don't even think the capitals matter.
I don't think they do either, but as long as it's fc3rock.com, you should be good.
Just think back to when I said it sounds like a radio station, because it still does.
FC3 Rock.
FC3 Rocks, blowing your balls off Monday through Friday.
But you can go to that website and you can look at some of the different guests. I believe the schedule is under construction. I don't know that we're there yet.
So before you freak out, if you make it over to the panel section, we are listed, I believe.
Okay.
But it's not the way, you don't get to it the way that you would think, I don't think.
I don't think so either.
I don't remember. I remember poking around that website and being like, everything is not here.
I think it'll be a lot. Well, I think it's because the schedule is still under construction.
Yeah, fluid, some people call it.
So they're putting it still together, so they are making it harder to get to on purpose.
In some shape, form, or fashion, we will be there. And yes. I will tell you that Dan has already poured a lot of time into Now here's the thing, though. So we went to at Wizard World Comic Con in Nashville. Went to a.
I was going to tell this story at FC3.
So we went to a live event there, and there was only like 4 people in the room. So it's tough because you're pouring all this work into what might be 2 people.
Well, you actually told a different story.
Okay. But what I was going to say is you want it to be amazing, even if there are only 2 people there. Because we went to one with a celebrity that only had 2 people there.
Yes.
Or 4 people.
Me and you. 4 people.
Yeah. There was like maybe 2 people in the back, and this is years ago. Like maybe now it would have more people at it. But yeah. Not the turnout one would think you'd have.
No.
But you still want it to be good, so you still want to make sure that the 2 people that are there get something out of it.
And they still performed. They still did what they were supposed to do.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, they were totally professional about it, even with, and just like we will be, I would assume.
Mm-hmm. As professional as one gets.
As professional as we can get.
Right.
Gonna be.
So check that out. I know travel and arrangements can be expensive. If you need guidance on those things and you actually can come, you reach out to Dan. It's in his backyard again.
It is.
So we will keep you informed as we know more about that. The easiest way to keep up with us is on the social media, and that's not true about me, but you know what I'm saying. I am at Podcast Ryan on Twitter. Dan is at Shirtless Dan. Together we are at Game_Stitch, which is also, again, just Dan most of the time. I took to Twitter.
Even that can be limited.
I took to Twitter 2 weeks ago. I did not take to Twitter last week.
No,
I
did not.
Fulfilled my quota for the year, I think.
For the year?
I don't love social media. Now, where we have let you down are the streams. We talked about it. We just did one last month, which is all we promised, but we have been doing so good.
We had been doing pretty well.
So
we're hoping to pick back up.
Yeah, we're going to pick back up. Like I said, we've got a way out coming. Dan's going to stream some nonsense. What'd you say?
Beyond.
Yeah, like I said, nonsense. And I've got some other stuffs in the works. Like I said, I want to do iDarb with at least 3 of us. And then I think I'd been talking to Howard about maybe getting him in on some stuff on Xbox.
Oh, yeah.
So
that sounds good.
Gonna be streaming some stuff, and I would love to still do some more Sea of Thieves with everybody. With all of the people. So youtube.com/GameStitch. Remember, you can listen to the podcast there, and when we do streams, most of the time they are there. Subscribe. Smash that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell so you know every time we go live. That's how the YouTubers talk.
Smash it.
If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. If you didn't, give us a thumbs down. Hit that like, subscribe, share button. That's what they do.
I know. I watched them.
Also, you can find us twitch.tv/GameStitch. Sometimes when we do Xbox stuff, it's over there.
True that.
I'd like to end each and every show by saying thanks. We don't
Thank
always,
you.
but I like to.
We'd like to.
Sometimes I'm like, yeah, you know what? They don't deserve it this time.
We do always give you a nice little good night, though.
Yeah, we do give you a good night. We tuck you in. Make that little bedtime burrito out of you. Tuck you right in there. You know what I'm talking about.
No, I don't.
Were you pushing the sides? Yeah, were you pushing the sides?
No, I don't. I don't like that.
I love burritos, and I love you guys for listening.
I like burritos. I don't like bedtime burritos. I don't know what a bedtime burrito is.
Yeah, you do.
I don't.
If it didn't already have a name, this would be bedtime burrito. Because that's pretty good, too. But it's not as good as, hey, MechArena. Which I have not forgot about. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back next week. Same time, same place. Good night.
Good night.